Alrighty, let's see, we got Tornado Rod, Fire Rod, Bell, and a t-shirt in the shop, and some starting money, that'll help. That should, yeah, if they spend their money wisely, they should be able to clear out this shop. Yep, you do not have to return the money in this in Rando. We sort of dispensed with the whole rental mechanic. You buy it and you just have it. Ravi's got a new business model. See, Lower Blacksmith is dead. That's a great first hint. Which means that we will not care about more than 2 Master Ore at max this seed. And this is actually the 4th match of the tournament. The first 2, they had the Quake item in the shop immediately. We haven't seen it yet, so maybe it'll be somewhere a little bit more spicy today. And speaking of Master Ores, one of them is on the Haunted Grove stump. That's the check locked behind the Pendant of Courage. So they might need to do a pendant dungeon if that matters. Okay, bombs. Bombs is good, we like bombs. Bombs and Fire Rod are maybe the 2 items I'm most happy to see early on in a seed. They tend to unlock just a crazy amount of things. Orin is dead. We don't need Smooth Gem. Our players today are using settings with the weather vanes not on, so they'll have to manually activate them. And that was Hyrule Castle area to Gemosaur King. Oh, that's almost certainly for those bombs, yeah. And flippers, okay. And a Master Ore. And we are playing today with Chastised Match's contents on, so you can tell if an item has, or a chest has something valuable or not based on its size. So you're going to see our runners peeking a lot of chests. And that was a hint. Pedestal has one of our nets. You don't care about that? Probably. So not doing all dungeons today. At least not required. And a second master. There's been a lot of Master Ore activity so far. Usually when you see a lot of items like this early on in the seed, it means that the bracelet might be kind of buried deep. So I'm wondering, we haven't gotten either of our 2 bracelets needed to merge yet. I'm wondering if both of them are just somewhere nasty. Adri opting not to complete Sanctuary with Fire Rod. Becca's opting to do it. This is technically out of logic. You're supposed to have the lamp, but, you know, that's not going to stop him. And okay, that's why That's why we kept saying Master Wars. So probably one of our bracelets is probably in the open cave on Death Mountain. Is usually what that means. Or actually, it could be right here. I forgot. There's a couple other glove lock checks. Nope. Woman is just a silver today. Shoutouts to Woman, the best named character in all of Zelda. Ravio's shop to Argus. That's interesting. So we got Fire Rod and Tornado Rod from Ravio. That could just be because that locked Flipper somehow, or Hookshot. Because Flippers was at the top of Well, which is glove locked, or it's supposed to be. They can just fly around it with that chicken trick. Oh yeah, the Masterwork too. That could all be part of the same logical chain. Okay, it's not an open cave. So I think the only other glove lock check they have access to currently is the Hyrule Castle rocks. So they might head over in that direction. Or at least that's where I would check next. Nothing on Runaway Item Seller. So Audrey's gonna do these bomb checks over on South Shore. Hyrule Castle area to Moldon. Okay, that's interesting. That's probably gonna point to our hammer somehow. Hyrule Castle area is the area surrounding Hyrule Castle, obviously, but it also includes the blacksmith, the stump, the Cucco dungeon, but not Ravio's shop, importantly. That's its own separate region. Fetcher's Tower and Zelda are dead. And without merge, they should be able to get 2 chests here over in Gales. Oh, there's Bracelet 1 over in Ice Rod Cave. And I didn't see Becca's screen. I'm guessing since she scoot fruited out of there that it must have been a small chest. Oh, great spin. For the sword we don't have. You'd love to see it. Not on Bird Guy. So it looks like Becca's heading over to the eastern area. There's 1 chest in the overworld, and without merge you can get, well, you can actually clear out eastern, but there's a couple merge locks checks she won't be able to grab. And since they have bombs, they don't have to worry about key logic potentially gating it. Kakariko to Zaganaga? Okay, that could just be Titan's Met related. I'm trying to remember what we actually got in Kakariko. Well, we got flippers, but... Oh, well, it's not Sandrod, because Sandrod is right there. Yeah, it could be second mitts and CAC. I'm wondering if flippers maybe could be it. You know, if they lock the Titan's Mitt somehow. Oh, a second bracelet was right there on the outermost chest. Okay, I completely missed that. Okay, so our winners have merged. The game can now begin. We now have the main mechanic. Adri taking the time to get this bomb locked check over here. Ravio shop to Margot Mill, that's gotta be for Tornado Rod. I think that one's pretty self-explanatory. It's one of the nice things about chest size matches contents in the treasure dungeons. Most of them, when you walk in, the camera pans directly to the chest so you can just see it and just nope on out of there. Now, it looks like in Eastern we're not getting our second key. So Becca's doing a trick here where you throw a bomb to hit this switch. Now this is in logic, and that activates the bridge. She doesn't have a small key to open that door to get what would be the vanilla big chest with the vanilla big key, but she can still fight the boss if she wants to. Oh, it doesn't look like she wants to. Okay, she's gonna dip out. So that leaves behind 4 checks, and we know one of them is a key for the other chest. So, oh yeah, that still adds up to 4 checks. She's leaving behind there. Which, actually, I can't see their bottom screen, so I'm not sure if Eastern was required or not. It might have been a pendant dungeon, and that might be why. And there's our other blacksmith hint. Still dead. Hookshot, mini dungeon is dead. And we still haven't seen any sword shop. Oh, Bow of Light on Bouldering Guy. Okay. That's important information. So that means that we're going to need to find our trade quest item and make our way on over to East Death Mountain at some point. Hopefully Audrey gets a copy of that hit at some point. all 3 Hyrule dungeons are portraits? Okay. I'm curious why Becca dipped out then. Oh, it looks like Becca found herself a sword. I'm assuming that was in Waterfall Cave. I looked away for a second. Oh, she's going back in. Okay. Maybe she just wanted a better weapon to fight Yugo with. Which, yeah, that's completely fair. Killing him with just bombs can be an experience if you're not used to it. I get it. Popping that purple potion was interesting though. So with level 1 sword, that'll do 4 damage to him, which is the most you can do in any given cycle. So that's basically just a quick cycle she got off there at the start. Oh, does Adri not know that? Okay. So you don't actually have to hit this switch with bombs, you can just hit the north one. It looks like he's just not familiar with this. Okay, thankfully he doesn't take too long on that. That's something we're doing with Eastern Palace now, though. So those 2 switches you can hit either with Ice Rod or bombs, and that never comes up in the vanilla game, obviously, because you're only ever supposed to have bow at that point. Not that that's ever stopped speedrunners. But in Randomizer, Ice Rod and bombs can hit them with, fairly easily. So we add it to logic, and it creates some interesting wrinkles sometimes. It looks like Osfala is our portrait for Eastern, but he's gonna have to wait. Becca's going back in for the big chest with that key she found in the escape. We'll see if this pays off. And it's a small chest. Yep, so she's just scooting for it out of there, running back in, grabbing her painting. And that's 1 dungeon down. So we're 24 minutes in. We actually have a decent selection of items. No sign of Quake yet. Quake is the item added to Randomizer to open up the cracks over global. So if we don't see it show up anywhere in Hyrule, our runners might need to climb Hyrule Castle, and that'll take them. It's basically like an Agassiz in the Link to the Past, but we call it a Yuga Seed. And they may have to do that if they just can't find Quake. And Becca's going into Gales. That makes sense. We didn't see the small key earlier, so it's got to be over here in the only remaining chest. Now, this room is sort of interesting with CSMC, because there's that one chest there that Becca just opened that, you sort of see obviously. But then in the bottom left corner, there's that sort of hidden chest that you can peek. But a lot of people, myself included, kind of forget to do that, so it'll be interesting to see how our runners deal with that. Alright, yeah, and she didn't peek it, so she's got to go through this rat room and then merge all the way down. And little chest. And Boomerang. Okay. Boomerang really doesn't do anything logical, but it's, it's nice to have. It's a good stun item. Oh. Adri got robbed there. If you demerge from that block right before it's like flushed with that platform, it just voids you out. It's no idea why. It just does that. I think he tried to go for the peak, but I'm not sure if he saw it. move. Audrey's having a tough time. I guess they didn't pick up the sword. Killing these things with bombs is... I mean, it's doable, but it's a little rough. Part of the problem is just stamina management. You don't always realize how much stamina Tornado Rod takes up and then up bombs on top of it, back to back. It's one of the downsides of not having like an ammo system in this game. Usually this game is really praised for the stamina, and it's pretty great, just not having to worry about it, but a couple drawbacks like that. Meanwhile, Becca has defeated the Beyblade boss. And we'll see which stage she's about to get. Oh, and a Master Sword. And Irene. So, at this point, I would go Hyrule Castle. Because we haven't seen Quake show up, we've done 2 dungeons, and now we have what we need to storm the castle. Well, and since we got Irene, this is one of those reverse stage event things where we made the Irene portrait unlock Irene. So we'll get her check right here. And a hook shot. Well, that's interesting. Well, not that interesting. Right now that only unlocks 1 chest for us. Guessing Becca is gonna check... No, actually, I'm not sure where Becca's going. Okay, and Audrey does get that Bow of Light hint. Okay, so both runners should know that Bouldering Guy is required this seed. And Great Ruby Fairy is dead. That is an awesome hint. Our runners are going to be able to avoid a lot of small chests now, knowing that they don't need to save up money for that big fairy, who is definitely a scam today. Okay, so Becca's going to clear out what she can on Death Mountain. So what she did there is she walked into that cave, and you can peek to the left, that chest that's normally bomb-locked, and just kind of see it faster. And that and the Fairy Cave are both dead. So is she going to climb? She's at least going to get the Weather Vane, but I'm curious if she's going to climb. And she is, okay. There are 3 chests she can get, I believe, with her current equipment, and she can peek the 4th one. This one coming up here behind the pegs. Okay, it's a little chest, so we can mark that off. Alright, yep, that's a little chest. The last thing she can get up here is the heart piece on Spectacle Rock. If that's not Quake, then I expect her to just kind of grab the Weather Vane by Tower of Hera for later, and kind of nope on out of here. Thief Girl has a heart container. Okay. And Gold Ruby. So, yep, she's just going to grab this Weather Vane by Hera, and I think she there's only a couple other chests in Hyrule she can even go for. That hookshot opened up one chest over by Eastern. I'm not sure if either of them have picked up the Cuckoo dungeon or the Southern Ruins ledge yet. And I'm also not sure if they picked up the Lake Hylia ledge. Those three are kind of out of the way. She might go for them. Personally, I would go for Hyrule Castle. Yeah, she's going to go for Hyrule Castle. Yep. Just check density. It's probably in Lurule at this point. So, the way Hyrule Castle works in the Rando, there's not actually any chests in the dungeon itself. Like this bottom port she's in right now, this isn't actually the dungeon. It's this next door she's about to go into. And it's just a gauntlet. Kind of like Link to the Past, except we have no keys, and we have no key doors, and we have no chests. So the only prize really for beating the dungeon is the crack that takes you to Lurule. It locks you into... it's basically going to transport her to the Lower Blacksmith, and then she's going to be stuck in that central part of Lurule, around the Lurule Castle area. That puts Thieves' Hideout in Logic, with her flippers, and actually Swamp also will be in Logic, because they've got Hookshot as well as flippers. So this could be a very deep Quake seed. And they won't be able to use any of the other portals again until they find that. Great Spin's gonna make quick work of these guys. Meanwhile, Adri murders his Beyblade. He'll get his Master Sword. And Hookshot shortly thereafter. Alright, and Becca makes quick work of Yuga. Okay, so interestingly enough, Becca's about, you know, most of Hyrule Castle ahead of Adri right now, but she also has the hook shot from Irene. Now, Adri will get that because Irene is a check that, even if you're trying to miss it, you really can't because she shows up in 4 different locations. But he's going into low rule now without hook shot, so he might avoid Swamp. And potentially Swamp could be where we need to go. So, kind of a coin toss there on whether that will matter or not. And 45 minutes in, we're finally in low rule. Becca's going to Boots Pyramid, but she doesn't have... Okay, she's just peeking the chest. Right, it's tiny, we don't need it. You can do Boots Dungeon without the boots. She's got a couple different items that are able to do it. You can do it with bombs, Master Sword, Boomerang. But it doesn't matter, it's small. Moving on. Vacant House is dead. And we have minigames turned off for the tournament, so we will not be seeing Octoball Derby. Thank God. And we also won't be seeing the Ruby Rush. So without Quake, the only other checks available in this area are the Swamp Cave, which is 3 free checks. But it looks like Becca is gonna just book it straight on over to Thebes. And she should be able to complete the dungeon, because I got the slippers. And that's the hammer. Okay. So now we could do Hera. And I'm assuming that somehow resolves our Moldorn path. It was Hyrule Castle area to Moldorn. I can't remember exactly what we got, but it could just be one of the swords. Or something that led to that, to get us into Hyrule Castle. To ultimately get us here for Hammer. Oh. Adri's showing off the courtesy warp. That's added into Randomizer just so that if you beat Yuga, you got a low roll, you decide you want to come back from low roll, or later you decide you want to take the path again, it just saves you a whole bunch of time. It's also very nice to have just at the end of the game, because of the Hyrule Castle Lower Castle connection. That loading zone that Audrey just entered is gonna, it's gonna toggle and swap to the final boss loading zone once they have all the sages. So both our runners will be able to skip Laurel Castle and just take that warp very nearly straight to the final boss. Sort of a consolation prize for having to do Hyrule Castle, I guess. Now, that hammer they both got, that's actually super nice to have in Thieves, because Soulblind, his second and third phases they're weak against hammer, but they're like accidentally extra weak to it, because when it hits, he takes double damage, but for some reason they didn't adjust like the timing on his iframes or something. So you end up double hitting for double damage, so each hammer strike deals 4 times the normal hammer damage, which 3 times 4, 12 damage per hit. You can kill him in, I think it's like 2 or 3 hammers per phase. It's ridiculous. And nothing on Ruby Hallway. Oh, okay, we're back. Cut out there for a second on my end. Ooh. A randomizer for this game? Yes, we do have a randomizer for this. It's been in development for about 3 years now. It's pretty spiffy. We got a Discord. Happy to help anybody get set up who wants to play. It's a fun game. This is actually the first tournament that we're doing for this randomizer, I think ever. We've mostly just had like exhibition matches and one-off races, so this is pretty exciting. It's great to see how far this game has come and all the new stuff we want to add to it too. And Audrey finding one of our Gregorys over in Igor's chest. You saw there Becca doing the hammer straps and stall blind. It was 2 hammer hits to end that first phase. And yep, we're done. GG's. Hammer stall blind is just amazing. And, oh, it sort of looks like there's no painting there. It's actually the Gully portrait. Gully is a little bit difficult for the randomizer, because he's normally up high in his vanilla location in Dark Palace. So he takes about 5 seconds to drop from his perch when you load into an area. It looks kind of funny in a couple locations like that. I've had a couple people panic for thinking that there's just not a portrait there and their game is broken. No, it's fine. He just does that. It's one of those things. Ice Schemo's fight has the Hylian shield. Okay. We don't need that, but it is nice to have. Kind of the best equipment to have against the final boss in this game is surprisingly Super Lamp and Hylian shield. Super Lamp just actually murders. It's broken as hell. And Hylian shield just makes it a little comfier so you don't have to worry about getting too close to you, Ganon, because he hits quite hard. I'm not sure what our required low roll dungeons are. If someone wants to peek their screens and put it in the chat, it'd be appreciated. And Becca made it all the way through Thieves without finding Quake. So if it's not in this cave, which it is not, then I think the only place left it really can be is in... I was gonna say Swamp Palace. Oh, okay, she's just belling over there. Okay. I was trying to figure out where she was going. So this could potentially be not too bad for Adri. He'll have to go back to Hyrule and get his hookshot from Irene. But I can understandably think he might be a little confused about what the seed wants from him at this moment. Without that. And that's the charm. Alright, so I know that looks exactly like the green pendant, but it's actually a junk item. Doesn't do anything. No logical implications. And Becca's raising the water here, so I guess she's gonna take a gamble and skip the southwest room on the first floor. That's respectable. It's kind of out of the way. You have to do this whole like water puzzle, raising, lowering the water, and then avoiding a BMOS. It's kind of time consuming. I get it. Hopefully that's not where Quake is, or she'll just end up having to go right back in here. Meanwhile, Adri, this is really cool. Okay, so he's lining himself up so that he can do a sword beam, like, barely clipping into the wall. This isn't logical, but it's just a really cool way to do this. And, oh, unfortunately he misses that last shot, but if you do it right, you can beat this dungeon without boots, using this trick. Yep, that looks good. Unfortunately, it's just a small chest, but hey, that's a piece of heart and a heart container. Not gonna complain about that. Alright, Becca has... I'm not sure if she got the big chest over on the east side or not. But there's only about 2 locations left where Quake could show up. Yeah, at this point, Quake pretty much has to be on Argus, or it has to be on that one of those 2 chests she left behind. Or, you know, a little asterisk for, or something leading to Quake. Makes quick work of Argus, and we'll see what they've got. And yep, Adri's going back to Hyrule. He's going to need to visit Irene for that hook shot. And yep, Argus had Quake. Wow. That is really gross. That is a really, really gross place for that item to show up. But now Becca's going to be able to, you know, go to the other regions in Lorule. She'll be able to grab things like the hookshot chest in Lorule Field and Stylish Woman. You know, checks that she technically can sort of see, but can't get to without being able to traverse through cracks. Yeah, that's... Quake on Argus is honestly about one of the deepest places you could put it. You know, under these settings at least. The randomizer does have a form of entrance rando we call Crack Sanity. And one of the things that's really neat about that is if you get a Yuga Seed, the Hyrule Castle portal will still be open, but it will go to a random area of Lorule. So Quake can, under those settings, it can actually show up almost anywhere in the game. It's not going to be that complicated for this tournament, but it does exist. Crack Sanity tournament win. Swamp was required. Rasa was there, and Argus had our Quake, so yeah, Swamp was definitely required. Becca's doing Rasa Rocks. We got a hint earlier that this was dead. But Rosso does have at least one other item I don't think that we have seen yet. Hey, good morning. Yes, so under these settings, our runners need to get all 7 portraits. I don't have the list of the required ones quite yet. Unfortunately, I can't see the bottom screen. Rabia will actually tell you if you talk to him in his shop. He'll tell you where all the required sages are. Both our runners opted not to talk to him. It seems to be a common strategy just because it's faster. Unfortunately, that keeps us a little bit in the dark on what is and what isn't needed. But we'll make do. We'll manage. And oh, that is a big chest over in the Lost Woods. That is Titan's Mitt locked. But okay, very interesting. Both our runners have sort of wandered into Hera at about the same time. Adri doesn't have his Quake, but this at least is a required dungeon, we know. So this isn't lost time, this still needs to get done. He just isn't going to find his Quake here. He's going to be a little lost until he wanders into one of the places Irene can show up and she gives him this hook shot. So at this point, I think it's fair to say that Becca is about a Swamp Palace ahead of Audrey. But there's still a number of items we don't have. We know that Bow of Light is on Bouldering Guy, and we still haven't seen our trade item yet. So that could potentially get messy. Our Bow of Light hint isn't going to help us locate our milk if that doesn't show up. Or it'll be letter in a bottle, or it'll be milk. One of those 2 items will be randomly chosen and shuffled in the seed, and you'll use them to complete the trade quest to get what Bouldering Guy has, and we know that Bouldering Guy has Bow of Light. Hopefully that shows up, otherwise we could just be on we'll just be on a hunt for that with no hints. I want to say that's our 3rd empty bottle. I might have counted wrong. But under these settings, the bottles actually come with a free purple potion in them, which can have some pretty cool uses. Purple potion is one of those items that most people go through the game without ever using because potions are weird in this game. But using them, it's not even an AoE attack. It's an attack that hits everything on the screen. Well, everything in the current area, even if it's not on the screen. And it does 4 times your current sword damage. So it's like a great spin that you can just pop off at any time with a much wider radius. There's a couple rooms where you can just use it and just blitz the whole thing, and it feels really good when you use it right. And Master Sword Great Spin one-shots Moldorm. And that'll give us our Impa portrait. So Impa locks just one chest. It's the Hyrule Castle Throne chest, where you normally would get the charm in the vanilla game. We have her rigged to be tied to that. But that is 5 portraits for Becca. And Adri picks up his 4th. Where will they go now? Is that a vanilla? Or a French vanilla bee badge? Amazing. So I'm not sure what our last 2 required dungeons are. If it's not Turtle Rock, then we have what we need to do them. Pretty much. Because all we're missing from our main item set is Ice Rod and Lamp. And our runners don't actually need Lamp. They've got Fire Rod, and they can make do if they need to in Skull. And Audrey getting his hookshot. Hopefully that'll direct him into Swamp, and then he'll get his Quake, and things will work out from there. But Becca's gonna go visit and bully this Hinox. Gonna give us 6 items. A lot of guts so far. Guts and money, 0 out of 10. Nope, not today. Oh, gotcha. Okay, so the other two required dungeons are Dark and Desert. So they will need Titan's Mitt for Desert, but they should be able to do Pod as they are. You're supposed to have Lamp, but you can make do with Fire Rod. The only important thing is that you need a fire. You hard require a fire source for the boss. And Adri's doing hookshot mini dungeon. We got a hint that this was dead, and yeah, he can peek it. So yeah. Yeah, I agree. Dark Palace is actually a really great dungeon to do, especially if you're looking for things, just because of how many items it has in there. Under these settings, our runners have 2 lamps in the pool, so I would not be surprised if we find a lamp-locked lamp inside there. Bravio path to Argus. Yeah, this is a seed where I don't think the hints have been too useful, because we got so bottlenecked on that quake. Just about everything is path in some way, just because of it all blocking quake. Merger quake. What's missing for go mode? Yeah, we need Titan's Mitts. We need our trade item bottle. I was about to say. We found just about all the other bottles, but we know that Bouldering Guy has Bow of Light. So we're going to need either our Letter Runner bottle or our Premium Milk to finish that trade sequence and get that from him. It's a little bit like Zooter, where you need light arrows to finish the game, and for basically nothing else. So if our runners just don't happen to come across that, that could get spicy, because it won't necessarily be hinted. And the Bow of Light hint that's normally available before the final boss is just going to say, have you found light arrows on Death Mountain? And we already know that. So hopefully this doesn't just turn into a trade item bottle hunt. And where Adri is right now, that's where you have to turn in your trade item sequence if you're not familiar with it. It's not the greatest place to get to, so we don't tend to like it when things show up on Bouldering Guy. And Audrey's gonna pick up. This is the chest that Impa causes to appear over in this room by the throne. Normally it's Zelda who gives it to you, but it's just a chest in rando. Zelda's busy being a painting somewhere else. Alright, we haven't really seen anything in pods so far, but there's still a couple chests in the back half. Adri is entering Swamp Palace now. It'll be interesting if he picks up... Oh, okay, there's the milk on Becca's side. Okay, that's resolved. We won't have a milk hunt for the rest of the seed for that Bow of Light. But yeah, Adri is doing Swamp. It'll be interesting if he grabs either of those chests that Becca decided to skip, and if that ends up mattering. Oh, Becca's trying to hit this switch from underneath. Unfortunately, you do have to do the mini-boss with her item, with the items that she currently has. You can hit that switch without the mini-boss with either the Ice Rod or the Nice Bombs, but the regular bomb's explosion is too small. And a lot of people don't realize this, but Fire Rod actually can't hit crystal switches in this game. For, you know, some reason. Nothing on Bomb Bowling, so we're going to head over to the Glow-in-the-Dark Maze. And Little Chest. The other required dungeon is Desert. So that's why we're looking for myths still. Small chests are randomized. All the chests are randomized. We have what's called chest size matches contents on. So if the chest has a progressive item, it'll be a big chest, or a, you know, just anything important really. It'll be in a big chest, and junk items, rubies, heart pieces, stuff like that, the chest will always appear small. Oh, Becca's going for the quick... Oh, no. She took too long. She dropped those 3 bombs in that specific spot. If you do it right, you can get him to spawn right on top of them. It does 3 hits directly to his face, and then a 4th bomb ends phase 1, you know, in about 5 seconds. It's really cool when you get to pull it off. But that's okay, she didn't take too long on it. Not too much time lost with that. That should be an option in LCPR. Yeah, it's really cool. Definitely a favorite setting of mine. It also just saves, like, legitimately 30-some minutes not having to open a million chests. And Becca makes quick work of Gemisaur, and she's going to get the Orin portrait. So that means that our final portrait over in the desert is going to be Saris. And, oh, hey. Okay, that's go mode for Becca. Those Titan Mets are on Gemisaur. Alright, so at this point, all Becca needs to do is find her way up to Death Mountain, grab Bow of Light from Bouldering Guy, and just do Desert. And she can go mode Desert, she's not looking for anything else at this point. The only things that would really help her, you know, another sword or two would be nice. We haven't found any of the lamps. Those would also be nice, but only if we can find both of them. Probably not going to happen. And we know where Hylian Shield is, but I don't think our runners are going to... Oh. Actually, she might grab it right here, because it is on this part of Death Mountain. Yeah, okay, she is going to get Hylian Shield. This was hinted earlier. We know that the Ice Demos fight has it. This will definitely make the Yuganon final boss fight just a lot cozier. He has a really big trident with a really long reach, and just having something that can actually block it makes it a million times easier. Oh, that's not the way you want to go, Becca. I think she realized, yeah. Yeah, she's gonna go back. It's easy to get turned around in this cave. Meanwhile, Adri is murdering an Argus. He will get the good news in a moment here about Quake. Premium Milk was in Dark Palace, on the chest when you fall from the second floor, on the right side there. Becca found it. Unfortunately, she took the wrong path there. Yeah, it's a left or right. It's easy to forget which way to go. Everything in this cave looks the same, and nobody wants to do this auto-scroller. Yeah, it was out of logic. We still haven't found either of our lamps. We know they have to be somewhere, but... well, we know that... yeah, no, never mind. I guess they could be sort of anywhere. We know that they can't both be in Desert, though. Because one of them would have been logically required to get Titan's Mitt from Pod. So I do not think that either of our runners are going to have Super Lamp for the final boss. So realistically, the most they can hope for is one or two more swords showing up somewhere in Desert. Becca actually only has 6 hearts, I just realized. She does have blue mail, but that could get spicy. It's easy to underestimate you, Ganon. It is a genuinely hard fight if you don't have the easy mode equipment. Adri is checking the Skull Woods area. This is an interesting choice. Getting the news about the Great Scam Fairy being a scam. Ice Ruins path to Yuga. Okay, that's sort of an interesting and useless hint. Yuga technically requires the bow to complete logically. Our runners aren't going to care about logic. Well, they didn't care about logic because you can murder him with just about anything. But the logic does want you to have the bow. And Ice Ruins is a pendant today, so we will not be going there. Oh, welcome on in, Raiders. We are approaching the end of this match, I would say. Becca's in go mode. She is just clearing out her last dungeon and will be off to the final boss. Adri, meanwhile, I think he might not be comfortable doing Dark without Lamp, so it looks like he's still doing some overworld checks. But whenever he gets into that dungeon, he'll find his Titan's Mitts and be able to finish the seed. Becca's doing Go Mode Desert Palace. So the way keyword logic works in Desert here, if you only find one key in the first floor before the oh hey look, there's Boots. That would have been nice to have a little earlier, but yeah, if you only find one key in the chests leading up to where you would normally get the vanilla Titan's Mitts, then you don't need to check it at all because it's going to be a key lock key. But this is a big chest, so... No? Okay, so you do have to check the chest. Oh, but she is opting to skip it. That is probably a safe bet, as long as Big Key isn't there. Meanwhile, Adri is going to bully the Hinox. We know that he doesn't really have much for us today. Audrey's doing Cocoa Dungeon. I'm not sure if we've done, or if we've seen Cocoa Dungeon in this game. Could potentially be our lamp. We still have not seen either of our lamps. And that's Desert Pig. Okay, just a purple ruby over on Audrey's side. Becca just needs one more small key and she should be able to finish the dungeon and just skip the remaining chests. She should be able to skip the Lever mini-boss as long as one of these chests has a... yeah, that has a small key. And she is going to check the last big chest. Sword? No, just another key. Okay. And yep, Becca's gonna skip the mini-boss. No need. Graveyard Ledge had pouch. Well, it had to be somewhere. So pouch is the item, for those not familiar, pouch is the item that gives you access to your X button, so you can use two items, or have two items equipped rather. There is an option to have that placed in the shop at the start of the seed, but for this tournament they opted not to use it. It can do interesting things to your inventory management. Alright, good Zaga fight. Becca's gonna pick up her final portrait and head off to Lower Castle. Not even stopping to get that heart container. Yeah, on current pace, I think we're gonna see a sub 2 here. I imagine Becca's gonna stop to pick up some fairies because she only has 6 hearts, but she may surprise us. Oh, there was a hint there the whole time about a sword. Didn't even know. So, under the tournament settings, the runners have to do exactly one of the trials. The trial that they have to do is going to be selected randomly, but you're going to see them look for either 1 or 2 keys, depending on if the trial is on the 3rd or the 4th floor. The third floor trials, they only need 1 key. 4th floor trials, they need a 2nd key to get up to the 4th floor. And they might check some other chests just looking for a sword, or no, there's a bunch of items we haven't seen this seed. We still have no idea where our ice rod was, either of our lamps. We know that Bo can't be here. Well, actually, I guess Bo could be. Oh no, Bo couldn't be because Eastern was a portrait. And bomb trial today. Okay, that's not too bad. They just have to kill the pretty patty, the purple moldworm. Purple moldworm does actually hit pretty hard. Becca will probably be fine, but they're gonna need to watch their health. And they have great spin, so that makes everything easier. Oof. No, that's okay, that's not that much time lost. They just need to run up the stairs and try again. See, Lower Castle is sort of... It's tempting to go after these big chests, because you see them everywhere, but Lower Castle has 5 keys that we really don't need. So it's, you know, it's a gamble going after them. I can understand skipping them. There could be more swords or a red t-shirt in there, though. Would definitely help make this a little easier. Oh, purple potion? Purple potion strats. There we go, nice. Alright, and with that, Becca can finally get to the final boss. Gonna make a quick pit stop for some fairies. Oh, I don't think they meant to take that warp. It's fine. They're just taking the scenic route. So with just Master Sword, this could be a tough fight. They have Hylian Shield, that's going to help a lot. Solid phase 1. I want to say Zelda was hinted somewhere, but I do not remember what it was other than that it was dead. Hopefully it's a heart piece. And let's see, Zelda, what do you have for us today? Just some monster guts. Yep. That's okay. That's why she got those fairies. Right. And with that, Ganon is defeated. It's not quite GG yet. We gotta wait until she gets the Triforce, but it is done.
Hey. Aw. Hey.
Alright, GG's, Becca. Congratulations, finishing with a time of 1:56:07. Sub 2, that was a really good seed. And Adri is forfeiting. So, we'll see if they come into the commentary booth. There they are. Hey, Becca, GG's.
Hello.
Hello. So, how'd you feel about the seed?
I feel pretty good. I feel frustrated with I feel like I made some dumb early routing choices with going to House of Gales because I thought I could do more, but then I realized I couldn't without merge. But and then
Yeah, you both wound up in
Low
there.
Roll Castle, but otherwise I feel pretty happy with it.
Yeah, you both wound up in Gales early on. That Quake location, I rarely see Quake buried that deep in the seed.
Yeah,
all the way in August.
That was crazy. I'm glad that I figured I had the stuff to do Swamp Palace and I was already in low rule, so I might as well just go and do it. So I feel like I got pretty lucky with that, I guess.
Yeah, it ended up being the right choice. I mean, sometimes if you're just not sure what to do a required dungeon and hope you get what you need on the way, and that seems to be exactly what happened here.
Yeah, pretty much. But it was a fun seed.
Yeah, you got hookshot off of Irene pretty much immediately after you picked up Irene.
Yeah.
And that, I think, gave you a little bit of an edge because Adri dodged that. Not for
okay.
not for too terribly long, but that prevented them from going into Swamp for a little bit. And turns out Swamp was important this time.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I just noticed that Irene was next to a couple of other checks, so it made sense to me to just go and try to grab that.
Yeah, and Irene was in Gales. Yeah, Irene was in Gales, so that was required for Quick. I think the hints were all nearly useless this seed, just because of how deep everything was.
Yeah, there was the bouldering guy with Bow of Light, but otherwise, yeah, the hints weren't as useful this seed.
Right, yeah. We were a little worried there about Milk showing up, and thankfully it did in Pod for you.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
It looks like Adri is gonna finish this out.
Okay, so Adri has this and then Desert Palace.
Yeah, pretty much. He's gonna get his mitts right here.
Okay. Yeah, the Quake location was definitely interesting. I was kind of surprised when I saw it there.
You know, when Ravio's shop opened up and we had Fire Red Tornado Rod, and then you got bombs immediately and flippers, I was sitting there saying, this doesn't. It's great to have all these items, but it sort of doesn't bode well because usually that means that Bracelet is buried somewhere deep, and it kind of was, but the real killer here was Quake.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like I might have, I don't know, I felt pretty greedy ignoring the small chest early on. I feel like I probably could have used a little more life just to be safe, but it ended up working out.
Yeah, you pulled through okay. I believe you skipped 1 or 2 chests in Swamp, which ended up paying off for you.
Yeah.
And I think you also skipped. Oh no, never mind. I was thinking that you dipped out of Eastern early because it might have been a pendant, but then we realized I think you were just looking for a sword for a better way to kill Yuga. Is that what happened?
Yeah, pretty much. I've tried it with like just bombs before, and it was kind of a pain. So
Yeah, for sure it is.
I was like, I know this is possible, but I don't want to be like sitting here for like 5 minutes, like throwing bombs and managing stamina. And
Yeah, no, respectable. Especially when you know that logically, like, a better item has to be out there.
yeah, for sure. But yeah, I feel like I played pretty well overall. So I had my first sub 2 hours yesterday against Oni, and Oni barely won that by like literally 2 minutes, 2 or 3 minutes. And then I had another one today, so I'm feeling pretty happy with how I've played so far.
And the other game, I'm blanking on who the contestants were, but we've had a lot of sub 2 hour games.
Yeah, Seb had a sub 2 hour game also.
Yeah, we're definitely beating the spread on this one. I think we gave the estimate as 2.5 hours, but we've had some. This was a really mean seed, I feel like, but
Yeah.
you guys are just pulling out, really well.
Yeah. Well, GG's, Adri.
Yeah, definitely GG's. And yep, they're going in a desert right now.
I skipped a lot of chests in here too. I definitely didn't need them. I had like a bunch of small keys after that one room with the 2 big chests, but
yeah, you checked 1 chest after you had the keys you needed, and like reasonable, right? Like that might have had another sword or a red nail, like understandable. Yeah. That's what we never saw. We never saw either of the lamps.
Yeah,
seed.
that's right.
I still don't know where they are.
Yeah, I have no idea where they are. I could take a peek at the spoiler log.
Yeah, if you want to. Or Audrey's still playing, so.
Okay.
Yeah, but I knew that both of them couldn't have been in desert, because Dark locked desert with Mitts, right?
Okay. Yeah.
So we knew that there was no hope of finding Super Lamp, just like the totality of it in desert.
Yeah. I hate these tile rooms.
Yeah, they're not great. It's like they're obligated to. It's a Zelda game. They have to contractually.
Yeah, I was watching something and they pointed out like Dodongo was the like traditional Dodongo was last in Ocarina of Time, and it's like, yeah, I don't miss like traditional like throwing bombs into the mouth of a big lizard.
Oh no, not at all.
So I think they can retire the floor tiles too.
I like what this game does. In this game, you just throw bombs at the lizard's face.
Yeah.
Its mouth doesn't need to be open.
Yeah. Also, Pegasus boots being in Desert Palace was kind of annoying. Like that happened yesterday in my seed with Oni also.
Oh, did it? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's just mean. Like
yeah.
You're not.
It's like we don't really need this at this point. Like I appreciate it, but
Yeah, just to make the final dash to Yuganon slightly faster.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know why I've never thought about using the platforms there to grab that chest, even though they're just like right there.
Yeah, well, if you're gonna pick up both, it makes more sense to pick it up afterwards.
Yeah,
But I think he just gambled that he only needed one more key, and it worked out
Yeah.
for him.
Oh, I always mess up the room in this dungeon too, where you like lift up the bombs with the sand rod.
It's honestly, it's like a room that a lot of people underestimate, I feel like.
Yeah,
It's really hard, mostly for
it's
stamina reasons.
yeah. So that's probably something I'm gonna try to practice more for sure. There was one time where I was fighting the boss here, and I like ended up on the corner of one of the platforms, and I could just keep hitting them like forever, even after my sand disappeared. But I feel like it wasn't doing damage after a certain point because I like was literally hitting them just forever. It was strange.
That actually is the speedrun strat.
Oh, is
Trying to
it?
like,
Okay.
yeah, trying to get onto that corner. It's tough to do because
Yeah.
it's it's such a small thing, and the boss is big, but you can get a couple extra hits in that way. I think they were going through. I don't know. Zaganaga's got a weird hitbox.
Yeah.
But come to think of it, that's the other thing. Neither of you found more than just Master Sword, so we don't know where our other two swords are.
Yeah.
It might just be somewhere in Hookshot Trial, probably.
Hookshot trial was junk. I did get that hint, but
Oh, was it?
probably one of the trials. I did check the Pegasus pyramid trial. And that was a small chest, but
Yeah, peeking that was smart to do. Oni did it with sword beams, which is really cool to see, and unfortunately just didn't pay off for him.
yeah.
And Blue Ruby. Okay, so you were justified in skipping that.
Yeah, I just ran right by it, and I was like, maybe I should have grabbed it because it's just like right there, but it's too late now. I touched the portrait. Yeah, I definitely felt like I was like maybe slightly too greedy. Like it worked out, but
Well, where did you get your net from? Because we know that one of the nets was on pedestal, and I think I missed where you picked up yours from.
I didn't know that the net was on pedestal. I'm not sure
Oh, then
where. I don't remember where I got it.
it must have been Audrey who got that hint. But no, it definitely is something you want to have when you don't have that many hearts for you, Ganon.
Yeah, definitely.
And Audrey's showing off using that Hyrule Castle shortcut.
Oh. I did not realize that it would work like that. That you could just skip the trials.
Yeah, it's just a consequence of the engines are connected, you know?
Yeah. So I could have also saved time there and avoid dying against the purple Moldorm period.
It's okay, we got to
Oh.
see Purple Potion strats. That was pretty cool.
Yeah. I do really love the purple potion. I think it's fun.
Yeah, definitely an underrated setting. Also, I do apologize. I can't switch the audio back to Audrey's screen.
Oh.
I guess after I record the race results, I can't do that anymore.
Is the next race tomorrow, or is there another one today?
I know there's one scheduled for Tuesday.
Oh, Tuesday, okay. I'm planning on commentating the one on Friday. I can probably get out of work a little early for that.
Oh, okay, awesome. Yep, we got one on Tuesday, and then that's it until Friday, it looks like.
I know I need a schedule with one more person for our group.
But yeah, Tuesday, 10 a.m., it will be Rafa versus Oni.
Okay.
And then Friday at 2:30, tentatively, it hasn't been confirmed yet, but tentatively we have a race between Fumafu and Flora. And then your other race is scheduled on the 21st, Saturday, against Rafa as well.
Is the Tuesday race Rafa's first race?
I want to say yes.
Yeah. Get the monster guts. Essential. Thank you, Zelda.
And one last butterfly dodge. Well done. That's like a genuinely hard thing to do.
It is. Yeah, that was definitely the part I was like most scared of for the Uganon fight with how little health I had.
Yeah, you guys thankfully had stamina scroll, so if you really had to, you could have hidden in one of the corners and outlasted it.
I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah, if you don't have stamina scroll, you need to dodge for like 5 seconds. Otherwise, it like, you get pooped out and basically hit immediately.
Yeah.
But GG's to Adri.
Yeah, GG's. It was a tricky seed, Audrey. I just kind of got lucky by going to Swamp Palace really early.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that was the nicest seed ever.
No, definitely.
And they pick up their triangles. GG's. See, I don't have an official time for them because they stopped their timer, but that would be about a 1 or 2:16-ish, 2:15, something like that.
Yeah, probably.
Respectable. Definitely respectable.
Yeah, it's a good time.
If you want to join us in the booth, Audrey. That's why I don't really play with hints. Yeah, this is a seed where, like Becca was saying, other than that Bow of Light hint, the hints weren't really that helpful just because Quake and Bracelets bottlenecked. I mean, they bottlenecked half the seed today. I'll keep my English for later. Okay. Fair enough. More than fair. All right. Well, in that case, I think we are done here. Thank you so much for watching. This is a great race. Congratulations, Becca.
Thank you. Thank you for commentating.
Oh, thank you. Of course. It was a pleasure.
All right. I'll talk to you later.
Yep. All right. Peace out.
Bye.